It's 2040, and Australian cities have managed to cut their greenhouse gas emissions by 80%. But how did we get here? Well, 2 action pathways could have brought us to this point, with large corporations and government working together for green growth, or through a commons transition, where communities and small business started taking charge. By 2020, city governments were sick of inaction at higher levels and began to take action themselves. Through green growth, cities banded together to demand action. They began working with big business to bring down emissions by using more efficient systems. Cities also invest in their own energy systems, like this solar farm, which is paid for by a climate bond issued by one of the major banks. A commons transition, however, began when people realised government and big business weren't acting. We had to do it ourselves, and together. People came together to rebuild the economy with cooperative structures. Democracy became more participatory and less influenced by corporations. Our new ways of living meant we consumed less. The downside of less consumption has been decreased government spending, but we all now make decisions around where to cut spending. And open data can be shared for public good rather than private profit. As a knowledge worker in green growth, your job has so far survived. But for others where jobs were automated a decade ago, they have not been in real life much since. And inequality has become an issue. Luckily, the government has universal basic income to ensure we all keep consuming green products. So you won't ever be homeless or go hungry, or start a revolution. In a commons transition, those who often work from home and in local clusters save commuting emissions, whilst relying on good connectivity with co-workers. People became very entrepreneurial, and resources are used efficiently, often thanks to technology networks. Part of your income comes from trading energy back into the microgrid, which neighbourhoods own as a cooperative. Others run the local transport system, or other initiatives we all rely on. We all have access to a community makerspace, and products are designed to be fixed rather than thrown away. Part of the green growth shift came as people embraced green consumerism. Companies recognised that they were likely to face future legal action if they didn't avoid risks to their business from climate change. Of course, managing so much data for maximum efficiency means there's not much privacy. And it's a pain that so much of our city infrastructure has been privatised. There's not much truly public space left. But something needed to change to avoid catastrophic climate change. With cheaper housing and more of our basic needs easily accessible, we call it universal basic assets. You have more freedom to choose what you work on. Imagine having time to dedicate to an open source 3D printed prosthetic design project. Working with other passionate people, we all find ourselves contributing more time to something we care about that's changing the world. You could be growing food, building exciting projects, caring for others, or doing something else that you care about. People do things that they enjoy because they can, not just because they're paid to. Sometimes it can be annoying spending so much time making decisions together, but something needed to change. The Visions and Pathways 2040 project has looked at ways to cut Australian cities' emissions by 80% by 2040. These 2 action pathways show how it could be done, although they are not the only way. Naturally, any future will include a little of both. But however we do it, we need to create change. And the pathways can help you, your organisation, your local government, your city, to see what changes need to start happening today. Visualisations, research reports, emissions modelling, case studies and tools are all available at www.visionsandpathways.com. You can use these to help set us all on a pathway towards more sustainable cities.